Bismillah. One of the most important things that you can do spiritually is understand the types of thoughts that you have and then find a way to defend yourself against the bad thoughts. There are 4 types of thoughts that we can have according to our spiritual psychology that the scholars have compiled. The first is known as a angelic thought, a khatir malakani. This is a thought that comes from the angels. They give you an insinuation, a positive insinuation to encourage you to do some form of good. You will know when this happens. And the second is known as a khatir shaytani, a satanic thought. This is a whisper of the devil which encourages you to do something evil. It is fleeting, it comes and it goes. And usually this type of thought is something that if you do a lot of dhikr, it can repel. The third type of thought is known as a khatir nafsani, a nafsani thought, a thought that comes from your ego, your lower self. If our lower self, which most of us, we have so much work to do on our nafs, it's not pure. This thought is evil. It relates to desires, to food, to sexual appetites, to your carnal desires, to your base desires. And it relates to bad thoughts about other people as well. It will keep coming and coming and coming and coming again. The same thought over and over again is usually known as a nafsani thought. And this is something that you can also know, and you have to resist and purify your nafs regularly through spiritual activities in order to try and get these thoughts to calm down. The fourth is known as a khatir rabbani, a thought that comes directly from Allah. This is a thought that's so powerful that it will get you to move and to act on it immediately. In our religion, you are not held accountable for your thoughts. You are held accountable for the action that you end up doing as a result of your thoughts. So you can resist the thought and you're not accountable for it. But if you now start to make an intention and that thought turns into an intention and a resolution to do something, and you try to go out and do that thing because of the thought, you are now accountable for that. So you can counter your bad thoughts, the thoughts that come from shaytan and from the nafs, by doing the following things. Increase your dhikr, your remembrance of Allah. Dhikr is a light that gets rid of the darkness of the bad thoughts. Number 2, anytime you have a bad thought, immediately seek refuge in Allah by saying A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Number 3, eat pure food. Allah says directly in the Quran to eat halal and tayyib food. Food that is slaughtered in the name of Allah, halal and zabiha food, and pure food, and then says do not follow the khutawat, the thoughts, the insinuations, the temptations in the footsteps of shaitan. So it's directly linked to the food that you eat, directly links to the thoughts that you are going to have. And if it is food that has darkness in it, it's haram, it's not slaughtered in the name of Allah, it's from impure sources, it will influence your thoughts negatively. So if you have an abundance of negative thoughts, check your food intake and keep trying to resist negative thoughts that you have about people. Usually if there's somebody who you don't like, you can have bad thoughts about them. But a pure Islam and somebody whose heart is pure, it will also eventually start to affect your heart, your thoughts, and your thoughts will start to become more and more pure. This is the ultimate high stations that we want to try to reach, and this can only be done by somebody who's actively trying to work on themselves, who's doing an abundance of dhikr, who's making sure the sources of everything that they consume, everything that they look at, everything that they watch, everything that they listen to is pure, and this will then purify you in the highest levels inwardly. So focus on your purity and you will see immense benefit in purity of your thought as well, inshallah.